Welcome to the Dr. Adesanya podcast. I have various U.S. and international accounting and tax designations, a master's in tax, and a PhD in business administration with a concentration in finance. Welcome to the Dr. Adesanya. Over the past 2 decades, I have helped several SMEs succeed. This podcast will provide strategies and resources to help startups and existing businesses thrive. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another interesting program. And just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving here in the US. I know that this week is Thanksgiving, but of course, we should be thankful all the time. And, just also thank my viewers. I know that I've gotten, again, feedback and just appreciating everybody. Now, a little bit about myself. I know that I've done a couple of these programs in the past couple of weeks, and I just felt that I've not really spoken about or told people about myself. Just wanted to put it out there. Just a few things about me, all right? Now, I'm originally from Nigeria, and when I say from, I was born in Nigeria. So that's first of all, and I've lived in Canada, US, now in the United States of America. I started out thinking of becoming a medical doctor, and a shout out to all the medical personnel, a shout out to everybody, but it wasn't for me, right? After getting a degree in human anatomy, I realized that I didn't want to go to medical school. I've always loved mathematics, really loved it. And so I started taking extra accounting classes and really, really loved it. And, went through the professional exams. And of course, it took me a little bit longer because I had to take prerequisite courses. So I did that and very happy because, I think the most important thing in life is loving what you do. And I tell people, love what you do. That's it. And I really love what I do. So I got into accounting. Then I, got my master's in taxation, my PhD. I also have my certifications, CPA, and, I have chartered accountant designation from Nigeria, chartered taxation designation, a fellow in Chartered Institute of Taxation. So really, I've worked in conglomerates, multinationals. I've worked in a couple of countries in the world, and I now have my accounting practice. I also teach accounting. I also write accounting and taxation. I also teach taxation too. So that's my career. I really love what I do. I love what I do. And so on the other side, I'm married with 2 lovely boys. I know they will not, they won't come, they won't show their faces right now. So, but just, that's my family side of it. And of course, on my other side, extended family, I'm very close to my siblings and my parents, right? I have 3 brothers, so lovely and, very close-knit family on my own. Like on the other, apart from my nuclear family, I call it, extended my parents and everything. And so very close-knit family, really love them, all of them. And then when it comes to what I enjoy doing, I've written plays in the past, but I don't think maybe I'm not gone to the Hollywood level first yet, or maybe later, but I really love art. When I say art, I love programs, when I say programs, I would say like Broadway. I like things like people act. I like stage theater. That's me. I love it. I love that so much. And I think that's what I really love. If there's a good play, people acting on stage, love it, love it, love it. Also, Zumba. Yeah, I used to Zumba. Before COVID, I was a Zumba instructor, but COVID didn't really work for me anymore because I decided to become a Zumba instructor. So it will force me to work out well. I love dancing too. So that was something that really went with my vibes and everything. And so, yes, I just enjoyed that too. I enjoyed the Zumba, but I think in my spare time, I might run, I, exercise, and I like traveling. Traveling helps me. I really love learning people's culture. If I go to a place, I want to learn about the history of the place. I like to eat their food. So I've traveled here and there, and I really love traveling. That's another thing I love to do. So COVID was just, oh my goodness, COVID, oh wow. So COVID just choked me because I said I love to travel. So really, that's really generally it. I mean, just wanted to put it out there and at least get to know a little bit about me. I mean, just a little bit. So at least, and I decided to start this podcast because, again, just to help small business owners. I just felt that a lot of people I've met, I mean, in my firm and even throughout my work life in, practicing accounting and taxation, I see that small business struggle because sometimes they don't even have the finances or the resources to really get the knowledge base. Because I mean, hourly fees are expensive, and I just said, okay, maybe I can just use this to, give some resources. Of course, when we talk about small businesses, small and medium-sized enterprises, I would say that when I give advice here, people have peculiar circumstances. So I'm not going to say this is just, this is general advice. So I always tell people, look at, talk to a professional so that you can actually, I mean, when I say talk to, I mean, when it comes to professionalism, I mean, talk to someone that can, you can actually talk to them specifics. Of course, I mean, I'm open for consulting. You can consult with me too. But I'm talking about, really, if there's something that's unique to you that is beyond this, it's very important for you to seek a consultation with me or somebody or another professional that will really help you to walk you through, right? But I'm hoping that whenever I speak, whenever anybody attends this program, the person would actually, even the person has a professional already that he or she is working with, they will just say, oh yeah, this is what I heard from Dr. Ini's podcast, and I want to really look into this, right? Just because without having that knowledge base, right, you will not be able to benefit, or you won't benefit from something that you don't know, right? You don't know that those things exist. How do you benefit from that, right? All right. So hopefully, I've been able to share a little bit, right? Okay. So I wanted to start it out this way because, I know, as I said, I've been doing this for some time, but yeah, I thought it was necessary for me to just say a word or two about myself. All right. Okay. Today, I'm just going to talk about some kind of analysis. I'm going to talk about, it's called SWOT. I'm sure you've heard of that. SWOT analysis. I'm going to explain to you what that means. So for SWOT analysis is just an acronym that talks about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to your business. Now, many large companies do this, and they sit back and say, okay, what is my SWOT? I want to do an analysis. It helps you to look into your business and say, okay, what do I need to do to actually move forward? What do I need to do to ensure that that my business is actually doing well? So because a lot of people it's just about go, like move forward. No. That's not how your business should operate. Not, oh, let's move forward. You have to sit back and look at, okay, am I moving forward in a very efficient way, or am I just going? Because if you're going, soon, if there's no break, I mean, there'll be an issue of just going without having results. Okay, so SWOT analysis is just like, okay, I'm sitting back to analyze my business, my SME, because remember, this platform is to make sure that your business, your SME thrives, right? Thriving. A thriving business is an intentional business, and business owner has to be intentional. Okay, so let's do some SWOT analysis. I'm just going to do general SWOT, and I'm going to use a bakery, not because I can't use anything else, but come on, guys, it's the holiday seasons, and a lot of baking, a lot of enjoyment, fun, a lot of but we're going to brace ourselves. So making sure that we don't over enjoy and eat so much, right? But let's use generally, or any business, or you can really think of your business in this line. So let's look at strengths. Maybe strength. What makes you unique? So I'm going to use case study of a bakery, any bakery. So what makes you very unique? Like, what is it that is so unique about what you bake? It could be that maybe you have flavors, wonderful flavors. I know we're talking about a bakery, but what comes to mind is like how Starbucks, right? We all know Starbucks. So how Starbucks has, oh my goodness, all kinds of flavors of coffee. So, all kinds of flavors. So maybe that's your competitive advantage, that any kind of flavor is not just the velvet cake, right? Not the pumpkin cake. Is any kind unique flavors set aside, right? That's your competitive advantage, right? You're that kind of, when they come to you and when they eat this, oh my, somebody tastes your cake, oh my goodness, I've not even eaten something like this before. So that's a competitive advantage. That is something, that is a strength that you have, right? And hopefully when I'm going through the SWOT, right? But hopefully that everybody can sit back and look at their business and look at the SWOT analysis that pertains to their business, right? So again, I'm not going to go to in-depth because, you can extend SWOT analysis to any length you want to extend it to, right? So I will say the next one is the next example of a strength. What maybe you have different segments. Remember, I'm talking about a bakery now. You have different segments. You have a segment that actually produces wedding cakes, another segment, birthday cakes, another segment, donuts, right? Donuts. I have that. There are people that just focus on donuts, right? And then you see these three segments, and you ask yourself, which one is doing the best? That is, what is when you're looking at strength, you start looking at what segment is doing well. Are you looking at, is it your wedding cakes? Or is it your birthday cakes? Or maybe the donut area? What segment? What is doing well? What segment? So that is that's your strength. The analysis of, and I'll tell you why that is so important, right? When you have a segment that is doing well, right? That is doing well. That's where you allocate funds to. That's where you make sure that always has ready cakes. They're always ready. They're always ready. Their birthday is always ready to go. That's it. You have orders you have a way of making sure that when they order wedding cakes, because of the markup, you want to make sure that these cakes are ready. Like, there's the order process, maybe it's the wedding cakes that they're making more money for you. Remember, we're doing a SWOT analysis, right? An analysis that will tell you where's your business standing? How does your business stand? All right. So that is another strength. Oh, this wedding cake sets area is where I'm really making my money, right? And then when you realize that, again, you allocate funds. Let's talk about, remember SWOT is SWOT. So that's the acronym, right? Of course, you can look it up and really break down your business, and because it will help you, right? SWOT is weak. The W is for weakness. What area of your business is not doing well? Remember, the other one was strength. The other one, maybe your donuts are not selling as it's supposed to sell. Maybe because I know that a lot of people that buy donuts, I know people buy donuts for teachers, elementary school teachers, high school. They just do that. I know donuts, so maybe it's not something that is selling so well, maybe where you're located, right? I know there's a donut shop that is very close to where I live, and oh my goodness, the revolving door. People are coming in, going out, coming in, going out. Oh my goodness, boxes of donuts, and so it just depends, right? So maybe you're not selling your donuts well. And I always say that, when you're not selling your donuts well, or you're not selling, when I say well, I'm not saying that you're not doing a good job, but that's not there's no demand for that. You're talking about donuts, yet when you're talking about, when you look at the cakes, it's 5 times the demand. So why won't you make your wedding cake production better, more efficient, right? I'll give you an example. I remember that I traveled. I told you guys I like traveling, and we're having a celebration somewhere, and I ordered the cake from Texas, right? I'm in Texas, and the event was in Puerto Rico. I never met these people, and I ordered, and it was delivered, and the cake was delicious, right? Because they had, in fact, I was so impressed with their process, so impressed with their process. They had different people at different stages, right? Different people speaking to, and this one will take the order, this one will, this one will analyze it, and this one will show me, is this what you really want? The picture, do we want this? Do you want us to add this? It was so, I remember I hadn't met these people. So I really want us to really understand this, that process efficiency. So again, weakness, maybe one of the weaknesses is that you're not very efficient. Like efficiency is an issue, right? Right? How your business is not efficient. You cannot grow with a business, an inefficient business. You cannot grow like that. So that's a weakness. I'm giving you some examples, and my focus is on, an example is a bakery because of the time of season we're in. Okay, so that's why I'm using a bakery. Of course, you can use that's why I love good food. So trying to not love it too much during this season. All right. So that is the weakness. You see that? There are others, but I just want to pinpoint a couple, right? And these are examples, right? SWOTs, opportunities, SWOTs. So we're looking at O now. O, right? Opportunities. What kind of opportunities exist? What kind of opportunities exist for you? Right? What about if you are in your opportunities where you're a baker? What about opportunities where you connect with halls? Opportunities where you connect with event halls, wedding planners. Those are opportunities. Wedding planners, right? Oh, the wedding planner then. So yeah, because of course the wedding planner would always, have someone that bakes cakes, right? For the wedding, of course. So those are opportunities, maybe connecting with a wedding planner, connecting with an event center. I've seen people that say, I'll plan my wedding. I don't have to have a wedding planner. I will plan my wedding, right? There are people like that, but they go to the event place and they say, oh, you know what? We also have cakes that we even get it at a reduced price for someone that actually wants to buy or use our event hall, our hall, right? Those are some opportunities. Remember, I'm looking at cakes. There's so many. We could go. I could break down other entities, other industries. But I just said, But again, think of your industry and think of how the SWOT analysis, right? So these are opportunities. These are opportunities you can dive into. Cake, dive into. Look at how your industry will work with the SWOT analysis. Look at how you can dive into, as I said, you're a baker. You say, how do I? A lot of companies, or a lot of small businesses have issues with marketing. They have issues, but I would say, I tell people, liaise with other sister or brother entities, right? Or, those that are, doing something that can relate to what you're doing, right? The baker, wedding cakes, event planners, right? The baker, someone that what about someone that events, the hall? What about someone that takes the photographer, someone that takes pictures, right? Of course, you say, okay, yes, I have, I know in the mix of planning your wedding, the photographer say in the midst of, have you thought about cakes? Of course we have. Do you already have anybody? There's someone I know that is very good at what he or she does. And when we're looking at opportunities, please make sure your services are what? Stellar. That means very good, precise, on point. That's what some people say, on point. That's what some people will call it. But you know what I mean? Make sure you're doing a great job. Make sure you get there on time. Make sure your product is has your cake, or I'm using cake this time, but whatever you're selling or whatever you're doing, whether it's services you're providing or whether you're selling a product, make sure it has that quality, right? Make sure you're on, everything about you beams and a very great business, right? Beams great service, right? Someone says, please, I want you to bake my cake for my wedding. You're there on time. You even, sometimes people say, you know what, I'll add a little bit extra for the presentation. I can do a presentation for you and, put it there so that, you like it. Do you like the way, just putting it there in a way that, presenting it the way you like, something that will make the person recommend you to 10 of our friends or, 10 of our friends. So very, very important that if you get, with looking at the window of the opportunity, right? You're connecting with, as I said, an event planner, you're connecting to it with a photographer, you're connecting with a hall event owner, right? Event hall owner, right? And right, this is the service you want to provide. Make sure as you have that opportunity, you're always maximizing what you produce. Make sure everything is, is good. Right? So those are the couple of opportunities you can look at, right? What are the things that you can, how you can look at match a sister organization, all right? So those are opportunities, all right? Now another aspect is the threats. The threats, what are kind of threats? Well, one of the threats that you might see is you're getting somebody's competing against you. The person is getting better. You go everywhere and they're only hearing about, only hearing about that person. Meanwhile, you're in the same vicinity. That is a threat. That means that your customers are going to you, or they're leaving you and going to the person. Now, when you see a threat, you have to actually make sure sometimes people call it, anyway, this is not risk, but how do you make sure how do you resolve or get that threat out of the way, right? For example, if you have someone that is doing better than you, especially in the same vicinity, you have to see how you can make sure your brand also stands out. Find out, is it that you have to add flavors? I'm talking about to a baker now. I'm just talking, give me an example as a baker. Are you going to add flavors? Are you going to, make a specialized packaging? What are you doing to make sure that this person that just moved into the neighborhood is not taking you away from your business, right? It's not driving your customers away, right? So what do? You have to dig in and just say, okay, what do I need to do, right? Customer service, what are you doing? Are you on time? I know someone and that this is really a bakery and the person makes good cakes, don't get me wrong. But when the store was to open by 11 or so, I think the person came an hour later or something like that. So, and people were waiting outside. That's not a good thing to have to do, because many small businesses, they take that for granted. They take that for granted because nobody's actually, it's your business, so you can do what you like. But I guarantee you that for me personally, I'm a time-conscious person. If I come to your store, I tell you, and you say your store is opening by 11, and I come to your store, and truly you're not there, and we have to wait for an hour, truly, for me, I would not, why would I wait for 1 hour when everything is planned? It's an event, everything is planned, everything is aligned. So, you have to make sure that, and ask yourself, why is that person that just moved into the neighborhood, or why is she selling more product? Why is she selling more cakes? What am I doing wrong? And sit back and go back to the drawing board and check out what is it, or what can I do better, right? We're talking about what? Threats. What can we do better, right? What can I do better? Sit back and check. It's all these analyses are very, very important, right? Because you want your business to thrive. And again, it's not about go, 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 go. Or you want to, you want to just continue moving forward, right? Because without sitting back to check where you are and how you can, are you moving forward doesn't mean that you're doing well. It doesn't mean you're doing well when it comes to a business owner. You have to sit back and check. Another threat could be something about regulations, right? Regulations change. It could be something about the flour that you're using, or that they're saying that maybe they stop production, or there's something wrong with some kind of flour, something. Maybe you already bought, you stocked it up, right? So that's a loss. That's obsolete, right? You can't use it again. It's going to be, because when I say it's obsolete, meaning that you can't use it again. You can't use it for your customers again. But I want to also say that when you look at threats, especially when it comes to government regulations, please, you have to keep yourself up to date with these changes with government regulations. Now, how do you do that? Of course, it's always good to work with a professional, right? I personally, I have clients that just say, you know what, take care of, let me know if any changes, and I work with my clients throughout the year. I have clients that do that. So if you have an accountant, a CPA, or, a professional like that's in this field, it's good to make sure that somebody has your back. You want to make sure you're up to date, because the threat of not being up to date with any compliance issues when it comes to government is that, they can impose fines, penalties, and of course, we don't want your business to even close down, right? We don't want that to happen. All right. So it's so important. So I said how to really keep up to date with any changes in the government regulations. In the last since COVID, since 2020, in tax alone, we've had I think now to date, I think we have 2020 to 2022 right now. We've had 5 new legislatures. I know we had 3 during COVID. We had the CARES Act, we had the CAA, we had the American Rescue Plan Act, which is ARPA. Now, then we have the Infrastructure Act, and then we have the Inflation Reduction Act. So there are very many changes. And of course, I tell people all the time that most people didn't get into business, right, just to go and learn, oh my goodness, what is the Tax Act? What is the Act? Oh, this reduction, you went into business to do what you love. So that's why it's very good to have a professional that works with you. Another thing is that another way to keep up with these changes is that please make sure you're attending or you're mixing with your industry, people in your industry, right? Make sure you're mixing with people in your industry. It's so important. It's so important that you mix with people in your industry, because, there are organizations that actually send notices and say, okay, this is what's happening here. This is what's happening in our organization, which is maybe the bakers organization. For example, I don't even know the name, so please don't quote me. For example, it could be the Bakers Association of wherever you are. Usually they give notices, oh, this is what's happening, this is not what's happening. And I always try to emphasize that it's so important that people it's so important that somebody in the industry works with another person or connect with someone else in that industry. I'm not saying you should not have friends that have other businesses in different areas. No, this is not what I'm saying. But when it comes to business decisions and finding out information, right, it's very important for you to find out what your organization has, what information that there might, anything that is affecting bakers, for example, or your own industry, so that you know how to act, you know what to do. All right. Yeah, I know it's something that I really wanted to share this, because this is November. Wherever you are in the world, this is November, and SWOT analysis is not for just US entities. No matter where you are in the world, it's time for you to sit back and say, okay, the year is coming to an end. Let me do a SWOT analysis for my business so that I know how to move forward. right? I know this is a big, because usually I divide it into segments, but I know after speaking about myself, I just decided to extend this segment one a little bit, because I think it's very necessary, right? Because, many businesses go so fast and then they fall. But when you sit back and check things, make sure you sit back and analyze things. I mean, honestly, it makes you better when it comes to, moving forward. It makes the business better. Remember, I said, when it comes to strength, you see this area works best for you. You allocate funds there. You make more money in that area, right? The opportunities, you're linking up with bakers, with event planners, you're linking up with people that can connect you to more customers. You're going to make more money. All these things is just sitting back to do an analysis to say, okay, this is how I am going to move forward. Okay, especially now as it's getting to the end of the year. For me, this is the time I call clients, I talk to them and say, let's look at, okay, first of all, look at your tax liability at this time. What can we do to make sure that you're avoiding tax? Because remember, it's tax evasion that takes people to jail. It's tax evasion that gets fined and penalties. We don't do that. We make sure that we use the tax law to look for ways to avoid taxes. And so as we approaching the end of 2022, it's very important for us to sit back and say, okay, how do we move forward in our business? How do we do better, right? Because if you do better, of course, you will excel. All right. Awesome. Okay. I'm just going to go into the next segment. This is just a few questions I have. And let's see. Let me see. I think, all right. Yes. Again, send in your questions by email. Or of course, you go to the website and also and sending your questions out. There's a way it will the website, and of course at the end of my program, I always have steps on how to get it questions to me. Right, it's on the website. Okay, and of course you can listen when I'm done the presentation or the video, the program. Okay, the podcast. All right. So the question here is that the first question is, my small business is doing well. I do have a day job. Can I quit my day job now? Okay. Well, of course, it's a personal decision to quit your day job, but this is what I would advise. First of all, before you quit your day job, build in, have some money in the bank. All right. Have some money in the bank that can cover bills for a couple of months or maybe a year if you want to do it like that. And then if that you feel that you can, then that means that you don't have to worry about bills. Because one thing about business is, right, you say your small business is doing well. How well, I would say, first of all, how well? What do you mean by doing well? Is it really well? Now, if your small business can actually cover your bills, and after covering your bills, it can actually pay you a salary, right? The small business can pay. And of course, I know somebody will say, but I've listened to you before. If you have an LLC and a sole proprietorship, you're not supposed to pay yourself a salary, right? Well, yes. Yes, I can break that down for you because, you get, the company is yours. So it's not really that you pay yourself a salary, but I'm just saying that you just assume, you have a calculation and say, okay, this is assuming I can pay myself this salary. It's just a test that you go through for your own self, for yourself, a test to say, okay, it can cover my bills and it can pay tentatively my salary. Of course, there's a structure that you have that can actually allow it to pay your salary, that you can pay your salary legally, like, okay, you can, pay your salary, as I said, when it comes to that business structure, but that's not what we're really talking about now. But yes, as I would say, see if you can, if there are two scenarios. If your company is doing well, right, and it covers your bills, you can pay yourself a salary, then, of course, again, it's a personal decision, but then that might be something that you can think of, if this can sustain you. I can't give you, 100% advice on that, because I don't know the figures. I don't know what you say, doing well. Because sometimes some people might say doing well, but doing well is because they have a day job that gives them extra money. So, right? So we have to understand what the term doing well is. Doing well might actually be really doing well. And I'm not saying that is not, but doing well might might mean a lot of things. All right. So let's make sure that that is clear. If your business is thriving, you feel comfortable with it thriving, then again, I have to see the figures to give you a definite answer. But I would say it depends on the figures, depends on how much you're making, right? And of course, you might say, I've seen people that say, you know what, I just want to earn this amount of money for 1 year, and then I'll decide on what to do with my job. I want to make sure, and then they save as much as possible. So, all right. So the next question is, I often feel burned out when in my business. Okay, how do I fix that? Okay. Now, there's something called the law of diminishing returns. That's economics, but to me, I apply to myself, right? Because if I am burnt out, if I'm tired, no matter what I do, to me, it's not efficient and effective. When I'm tired, I can even, if I'm too tired, I even go to bed very early. I know sometimes that, I can't, but I do that when I'm so tired. I just shut down, tell everybody, you know what, I'm just feeling so tired right now. And I go to bed early just to make sure that I don't get really burnt out like that. Because if I don't do that, right, if I say that I'm pushing myself, I will not be productive. So first of all, as a business owner, you have to take time and break. You have to take time and sit back and say, okay, this can wait. Because if you're burnt out, when I say diminishing returns, it means that if you're burnt out, right, what you do in 5 hours, a burnt out person, right, and you still continue going. Let's say that you have a project that it takes you 5 hours to do because you're burnt out. I would say that if you rest, rest and you're you're rested and everything is rested. I believe, for me, let me talk of myself. That 5 hours can be cut into 2. I can make sure I become more efficient and effective. So what I would say is that please, make sure you're taking care of yourself. I always say that, make sure you're taking care of yourself, right? We don't want anything to happen to anybody. I know small business owners, SMEs, medium enterprises, small enterprises, we push hard, right? All of us push hard, right? I'm talking about SMEs, you push hard, but please make sure you're taking care of yourself. And because, if you're ill or something like that, the business, you can't work. So you don't want to do that. All right. Okay. I think I have one more. How do I retain my customers? Okay. Now I know to get customers or clients, I would put both of them in the same bucket, the clients and the customers. I know that sometimes it's difficult to get them, but when you get them, very happy, very excited. So the question is, how do you retain customers? How do you retain clients? I would say do a great job. Make sure you're really doing a great job. And make sure it's not all about the money, right? All about the money. Make sure your customer service is right up there. Make sure it's not all about the money. People that do services, they are into services, like their business is about services. Maybe they could be accountants, engineers. They could be a physical trainer, personal trainer. Let somebody see that they have that good relationship with your clients, because people, it's not, let them know that you're really interested in them doing well. You're really interested in them excelling, right? like a physical trainer. I often hear this, and then I've used a physical trainer before, and I hear that, oh, you can do it, you can do it, or you're getting better, things like that. Make sure you're making that customer happy. Make sure that, that you're not not really relating with your customer well. You understand what I mean? So hopefully you do. So yes, I know it's difficult, but if I'm your customer and I always see that you're always happy to do things for me, right? You're always happy, to ask me about my family, ask me, just to make sure that that you're really, 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 you have that relationship with your customer. So I would say let it not all be all about money. That's number one. Number two, I would say that produce or provide quality products, quality service. All right, quality services. I know someone that is such a good teacher. So this lady also has extra classes, like she teaches, teaches after school program, things like that. Very good, but sometimes she has a lot of things going on, so timing changes. They're not so not on time and things like that, and people don't like that. So it's not, sometimes yes, you might have a quality, you produce quality services, but you're never on time. You're not there, right? So they're asking for delivery of your cake, and it never makes it there on time, or something comes up that you don't communicate with the person that, oh, this has come up, right? You don't communicate with that person. So be very personable. That's the first one I said. Be very personable. Remember, you want to retain your clients, you want to retain your customers. Be very personable, but also in addition to being personable, produce good products. When even if services, let your services be awesome. Right? Make sure you're always on time. Make sure that if there's any issue, you communicate with your client that, oh, this is what happened. I'm not able to make it. Right? So, and then of course, always keep yourself up to date with any changes. When I say changes, if you're into providing services, if you're into providing services, make sure that as you provide these services, right, there could be changes, right? Maybe you provide services and there are some changes that you in maybe the way you provide the service, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. Be open, make sure that you're transparent with your clients and your customers. Make sure that they know, right? Not just shutting them out. No, make sure they know what is expected. Transparency, transparency is, you can't beat that. I would say that because, I'm also talking to you apart from a professional, I'm talking to you as someone that has also been a customer, but also been a client, right? This is what I also do my best to imbibe and make sure that my clients are happy, make sure that I'm personable, make sure that I do my best to update them or have a kind of transparency with my client. I'll give an example as I round up. Yeah, one thing I do is I hate my clients having to pay penalties and interest. I don't like that. So when they have any return that's ready, whether it's anything to do with the government, right? What I do is that I make sure that I actually make sure that I call them and make sure that those documents are signed on time. Not only I call, email, I'll text, email, get the assistant, anybody that makes sure, because some of my clients are very busy, right? So make sure that I'm trying to make sure that I get what is required from them so that I can submit what is the documents that are required. Because I'm sure they'll be wondering, it's not my person, it's not my company. Remember, they are my clients. So I just try my best to go above and beyond, right? So hopefully, you've gotten something today, and it's been very nice. So I would say happy Thanksgiving. Again, it's always great to be thankful, not only during Thanksgiving, but it's always great to be thankful. All right. So have a good one, and bye for now. I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Thanks for having me. Remember to join my live podcast on Tuesdays, 6 to 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Visit my website, dreniadesanya.com, for details. Till next time, bye for now.